So the game market these days seems to be filled with games that look to blow your mind with fast-paced action and fighting your friends in a battle royale scenario. But occasionally something a little slower is needed to keep you from going mad with all these colourful games. Unfortunately those games don't come along so often, but when they do, it's always worth checking out. Just last month the prequel to Life is Strange 2 appeared on the marketplace for everyone to see. I mean, what more can you ask for? According to reviews, this game is heartbreaking and will touch the hearts of many. I don't think many people would pay to get their hearts broken and go on an emotional journey that would most likely make you feel like a dirty piece of gum on the bottom of your shoe. It's a good thing this game is free then. We all remember the emotional toll its predecessor had on the players and the strong messages it had about mental health, bullying, and the consequences of your actions. Well, it looks like this game takes a similar route as you dive into the world of Captain Spirit, and immediately we're exposed to the harsh reality Chris lives in. Following the death of his mother, Chris is looked after by a struggling alcoholic father who comes across as a loving and caring person, but the cracks in the surface of his character appear when you go to breakfast and he's drinking beer. This isn't the only clue we find about his dad's issues, as we see a letter from Chris's grandparents offering to take him away whilst his dad gets his life on track. It is obvious to see that the problems rely heavily on the father's mental health, especially from the hints of physical abuse towards Chris as they have a strange conversation about bruises on his arm. It isn't until later on in the game that we see his father's darker side after he drinks a bottle of whiskey. This going on around Chris, it isn't surprising he's created a fantasy of superheroes around him. What I think makes this part adorable and even more amazing, that the tasks at hand within the game are centered around Chris's imagination. One of the tasks he has to complete is target practice with a snowball and beer cans, but you must remember he is Captain Spirit training to fight Voltroid. Another is going to the dark basement to turn on the boiler, or in other words, tame the water eater, so the city can drink. As you enter the basement, it is Captain Spirit fighting the wild imagination of a child as the room becomes an endless sea of darkness, with the red-eyed demon in the middle. These are nice innocent parts of the game that make you love the character of Chris. It's almost like his escape from the harsh reality around him as he puts on the cloak and becomes a powerful superhero. There are sweet parts of the game that let you take in the surroundings, and think about the world Chris lives in, particularly the scene in his dad's bedroom when he plays his mum's records. As he lays there on the bed listening, we get a montage of the house and its surroundings, almost like we're given an insight into how peaceful things can be and what his mother meant to him. In some ways, this is quite heartbreaking, as it is the closest Chris can come to his mother in the game. Memories and relics of her existence lay around the place, but this has sentimental value to Chris, and we see what a loss it is for him. It isn't until Chris wakes his drunk dad up, then we are exposed to the darker side of his father. Not only this, but a noisy neighbour appears, and I must say I didn't handle her so well and ended up making her suspicious and Chris's dad angry. However, this does lead to the scene where he falls from the treehouse, and we are given a taste of what superpowers Chris possesses. Overall, I found this game beautiful, adorable and sad, but I was wondering how I was going to connect with these characters and the world they live in. We see a child with a vivid and wild imagination. This takes me back to my childhood with the toys and using random stuff around you to create something completely different. But his reasons for doing this are to escape the harsh reality of his home life. A family not quite complete, and a father struggling to cope with himself brings out a whirlwind of emotions. I know this game is to set up Life is Strange 2, and Chris will appear in that game, but for a free game this stands alone well and gives you the opportunity to remember the strength of a child's imagination and how harsh reality can be to some people. I tell you what, if this game can almost bring me to tears in less than 3 hours, I can't imagine what Life is Strange 2 can do, because despite how short this game is, it does a good job of bringing out emotions. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Beware, Mantroid. Watch out. Captain Spirit is ready for battle.